So we're looking at a vintage CT70 engine. It's a 6-VIN engine. It's the early models. It's just shipped over from a customer for me to do a rebuild on. I did get a rebuild on it, but it seized very quickly once it was running. So I guess we'll tear it apart. Curious to know what actually caused the failure. I do get a little bit of movement on the crank. I don't think the top end is seized up. Kind of feels like there was a failure of something inside of the clutch side, or yeah, so we'll see what caused this thing to basically fail here. Piston's free, didn't seize anywhere on there, so I'm suspecting we definitely have some failures in the transmission or clutch area. One note, the piston's oriented wrong. Larger valve relief for intake is on the bottom and the small is on the top for the exhaust. It's already been bored to 0.75 over, third over, so I'm not sure if I can save the cylinder. We'll take a look at the cylinder wall, do some measurements. So we got some pock marks in this cylinder wall, and this is a third over bore, so this is not going to be usable anymore. I'm going to have to source him a new jug, start from scratch here, or source him a good old jug to rebore off of. Definitely been some moisture in this bottom end. We got some rust everywhere and on the radial bearings on the crank, so I'm just anxious to see what else the internals look like at this point. So I got all the clutch side screws out, and when the tension all got released, this whole cover just pushed itself up, so that's not a good sign. Alright, so here's the reveal. We'll see if we see any damage immediately. Yeah, complete clutch basket failure. Never seen this before. We don't even have the clutch shifting arm in here. This has completely released itself. No bolts even on the clutch basket. It's crazy. I can just literally take this entire engine apart, or the clutch off. It's crazy. So everything's just scattered on throughout the engine. Well, we'll dig further and see what else happened while this engine ran for a minute or less, or whatever it took to explode. So let's just take a few more seconds to wrap our head around this one. This is a first for me. It completely destroyed clutch basket. Every single part scattered throughout. Alright, time to bring out the big dog. So I do the M12 Milwaukee tools. Sometimes there's situations just can't budge that nut. Well, I have the right angle impact gun, which puts out an enormous amount of torque. So we'll just give this thing a shot here. No match for this tool. This tool's awesome, even in 12-volt version. So we can bench test this transmission before I split it. It's already ready to be split, but it's shifting just fine, so I don't think we have any damage on the transmission area. I think what we had was a failure at the clutch, obviously, on this engine. So the transmission area looks good, teeth look good. I'll take it apart further just to look a little closer on it, but it looks like the main problem was a clutch failure. The top end also, it was refreshed, but it wasn't appropriate to use the jug anymore. It had a lot of corrosion in the cylinder wall, and even though it was the third over bore, it still didn't take care of all the rough areas. So I'm going to source a new or a used jug that's good for a CT70, and then we'll rebuild the top end and then do a complete rebuild, obviously, on this lower end, and source a new clutch basket and components. But thanks for watching. I was interested to find out what caused the failure, and as I had the hunch, I kind of thought it was in the clutch area, and that was the case. So thanks for watching, guys.